Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ-owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.
Hello, my boys and ghouls. Welcome to the Morphin Network. This is the UltraQuest podcast. And we're doing this a day early because today is October 30th, 2023, the day before Halloween. We want you guys to enjoy the festivities known as Halloween. That's right. That we're not doing a show tomorrow evening because we want you guys to go trick-or-treating, and also maybe we will join you on those festivities. But as we are right now, we are doing UltraQuest podcast Monday this week. Next week we're back to Tuesdays, but for now we're just doing it on Monday. But I might have a special surprise for tomorrow morning instead of the evening. So your chance. So there's still a bit of a treat now because of the spirit of the trick-or-treat festivities, and also because this is the last week of the Ranger Stop contest. We are doubling your chances of winning a 3-day pass to Ranger Stop in Orlando, Florida at Doubletree by Hilton at SeaWorld. So it's on November 10th to the 12th. Make sure you get your tickets now. But if you watch this show right now, you can get those tickets free. We have two chances, so we'll ask two questions, and if two people get them right, those two people will get one pass. So one pass for one winner, the other pass for another winner. So two chances every day for the rest of the week up until Thursday, and we'll just keep giving the double chances until we run out of tickets. Because sometimes sometimes we might only have one winner. Sometimes no one will show up to claim their tickets. So we're just gonna today, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe a secret show on Tuesday, and lastly on Saturday, we are going to double your chances of winning until we run out of tickets. So right now we have 6 tickets left. So if today, Wednesday, and Thursday, all tickets are claimed, obviously there's not going to be any more tickets on Saturday. But we just want to maximize your guys' chances of claiming those tickets because we know how much you guys probably really want to win those Ranger Stop tickets if you haven't already gotten yours already. Now, how can you claim those tickets? You got to answer live in the chat box and until our closeout time. Anyone who's eligible to participate by commenting live, if you haven't already won a previous ticket, you get to answer a question. Power Rangers related, not Ultraman, not Super Sentai, not Kamen Rider, Power Rangers. First person to answer the Power Rangers question right will win the ticket. And because we're doing 2 questions, first person to get the first question right will win the first ticket. First person to get the second question right will win the second ticket. Everyone gets one chance, but everyone gets one ticket, but we are giving away 2 chances to you guys. So stay tuned and make sure you try to pay attention to this episode because, like with previous episodes, our quiz question was somewhat related to some keyword that is associated with the episode that we're doing. For example, we've had a Kamen Rider Gotchard episode pertaining to a cactus Kemi. So we asked a question about a cactus monster. We've had a episode of Power Rangers that involved we had an episode of King Oger that involved Kyuragers. So we asked a Dino Charge related question. So, if you guys really want to get an edge, definitely pay attention to any themes in this episode that you may pay attention to, and because it may drop a hint. And of course, you guys are welcome to check the Ranger Wiki for support in finding the correct answer. I try to make them as easy as possible for you guys, but for sometimes you still need the help of the wiki. So, it is what it is. No shame in that. Okay, but what is the episode of what podcast we're talking about? Well, obviously, this is the UltraQuest podcast, and we're doing Ultraman Blazar, and the episode we're doing is episode 7, Rainbow Appears, part 1. And yes, it is a 2-part episode, which is quite lovely indeed. I like that we actually have a 2-parter for once. We never really had a 2-parter yet this season, and I know there's going to be at least one more, but it's not going to be labeled as such. But what did you guys think about this episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What are your guys' thoughts? Yeah. I personally enjoyed this episode. I mean, I had to rewatch it a couple of times because it was very straightforward. And I do like the gimmick of this kaiju. Yeah, and because it had a certain transformation function that previous kaiju have never had. So that is something to appreciate. In any case, let's get right into it. So I have to say this. Give me a second. This guy's name. Hold on. This one particular character's name, I keep forgetting it because he's never had a focus episode yet. Let's see. Teruaki. Teruaki has yet to have a focus episode. Gento has had plenty of focus. Emi had episode 4. Henri had episode 5, and Yasunobu had episode 6. They've had back-to-back. They've had episodes that focus on them in particular, but Teruaki is just hanging in the background. I get it. He's the analytics expert of the team, but he's mostly a background character compared to the other 4 members of SCARD. So that's just I was hoping. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I did watch both parts of this episode already. So part 2 is more of a Teruaki episode, but they could have done more Teruaki in this episode, is what I'm saying. But no, it was more Gento than Teruaki in this episode, I'm being honest. But yeah, it turns out Teruaki loves to read this one book written by this scientist called The Eye of the Kaiju, and it just so happens that Gento used to go fishing with a scientist. That's pretty much all the schema we got for the episode before we get to the point where we see this mysterious guy who's obviously the professor. He has 7 rings around his arm, and he's looking for the 7th ring, and basically he's using it to awaken the kaiju. I mean, it's not supposed to be obvious at first, but it's very obvious that it's him. And we see a bunch of inverted rainbows. So instead of seeing a rainbow making a convex arch like you would normally see a rainbow, they're all concave. And everyone's like, what's going on? Is this the work of a kaiju? Yes. Yes, it is. I mean, it's Ultraman. Of course it's the work of a kaiju. What do you think is causing it? Shocker? Black Cross? The Banki? The Nilox? Buglars? No, obviously it's going to be kaiju. It's always the kaiju. It's Ultraman. What are you talking about? I know that Kamen Rider Super Sentai are sister shows, and Ultraman's sort of a cousin show made by a different author. It was made years earlier, but still, it's obviously it's not going to be Shocker. It has to be kaiju. It's always kaiju. Ultraman, it's kaiju. Tiga, it's kaiju. Ginga, kaiju. Red and blue, kaiju. Why wouldn't it be kaiju? I mean, to be fair, in the previous episode, the canon were not technically kaiju. They were human-sized aliens. But they still took over the Earth Garen. So, it is what it is. So Gento tries to, say hi to his old professor in their old fishing spot. He offers him some crocodile jerky. And I'm thinking, crocodile jerky, isn't that a little salty for... I think crocodile might be a little too salty for my taste. Rattlesnake meat, much better. But crocodile, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of crocodile meat. It's a little too salty in my opinion, at least based on my experience. Yeah. I'm curious. Have you guys ever had any exotic meat before, like crocodile, alligator, catfish, snake, lizards, cicadas, anything? Just let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. But yeah, so it turns out that, oh yeah, when I was a little boy, my family used to pray to this earth deity, and it's because of our prayers were answered. We had rainfall, but when angered, this deity will cause a drought. So basically, this thing is both Groudon and Kyogre at the same time. I do find the irony to this because because back in Japan World Heroes, we had both a flood and we had severe rain, and we've had an earthquake at the same time here in California. That is crazy. Was it a hurricane? No, it was not. It was just a tropical storm. It was like I could have went to Japan World Heroes for day 3 if my neighborhood wasn't blockaded. Like, no, I'm serious. Like, there was a blockade closing off all 3 exits from the area that I live in. So there's no way in or out. I was trapped at home pretty much. But no, there was no hurricane. I could have safely went to Japan World Heroes for day 3, and it hurts because when it came to Scott Zillner's shows, if there was multiple days to it, I would be there for every day. Power Morphicon, I was there every day. Japan World Heroes, I was there every day except for this 1 year. Pasadena Comic-Con and Robo Toy Fest, those are both one-day conventions, so it's like, I'm there for every day just by showing up the one day it's there. But when it came to 3-day conventions, no matter what, no matter how hungry or sick I was, I would always show up for all 3 days. And this was the one time that I didn't show up for all 3 days. I was there on Friday and Saturday, just not Sunday. And the only reason is not because I didn't want to. It's that I literally was not able to. But the point is, clearly it was this kaiju that was causing it. Even though Blazar technically wasn't on TV yet. Actually, I'm curious. When did Blazar first air? I'm just curious. When... hold on. Ultraman Blazar episodes. Hold on. Episodes. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it was like September, or maybe like late August. Let's see. First wave air date was it was in July 8th. So that means that that kaiju was definitely responsible for the tropical storm that happened and the earthquake, obviously. Okay, yeah, and the episode aired on the 26th, 28th. So the kaiju was still technically alive at the time of the convention. So yeah. Earth Garen. Okay, this part's a little annoying for me. I'm gonna have to get right into it. What is even the point of Earth Garen? What does Earth Garen even do that's useful? Aside from the one time it threw that canister of liquid nitrogen, which Blazar himself could have just as easily done, mind you. What has Earth Garen really accomplished in the show so far? It's been around since episode 3. So far, it's been Yamchaing all the time. It's like, don't get me wrong, I love the design of the Earth Garen. It looks really cool, and the eyes make it look really adorable, but it's just not getting stuff done. It's not completing anything. So far, every single time, except for episode 5, Blazar was the one who would win every fight. The reason why episode 5 was the exception was that Henri was the one. Henri was the one who finished off the monster. Not Blazar, not Earth Garen. Maybe the tomb formed a distraction. I am very sorry, ladies and gentlemen. My internet's cutting in and out. I don't even understand why. But yeah, Earth Garen and Blazar did not defeat the monster from episode 5. Henri did by stabbing that statue onto its back. Other than that one exception, Blazar was the play of the game. What has Earth Garen even done? Will Garen even have a W even once in the season? Just once. I feel like at this point, you may as well scrap the Earth Garen and then just use it as armor for Blazar. You know, kind of like how you got all these other vehicles who become armor for Servo in Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, aka Gridman. Why can't... Like, at this point, they may as well just pull off a Gridman and just scrap the Earth Garen and turn it into armor. Because Garen isn't doing squat. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Garen is useful at any point right now? Because so far, it hasn't done squat. So, it shoots some missiles, it misses. Hard head, I get it. But still, it's like it barely does much of anything. So, they retrieve, they do some more research, they find out, oh, this kaiju has been around for a really long time, and its involvement with rainbows because there's 7 colored rings that allow one to control it. And guess who has those rings? Yes, it is the professor. And of course, you got Gento. Gento. Not even give me a second. I really hate having to go over stuff again. Okay, give me a second. No. Not that. Okay. Give me a second. Teruaki. I swear, one of these days I will get Teruaki's name right. Teruaki. So, Teruaki, like, you'd think Teruaki would be the one to have this conversation with the professor, but freaking Blazar. Hold on, what is going on here? Give me a second. Okay. You'd think Teruaki would be the one to talk with the professor, but no, it is freaking... It's Gento. Gento is the focus of the episode. When's Teruaki gonna get a turn to make himself a more distinguishable character? Okay, and look, I'm not trying to shill for the character. I mean, obviously, Bondo is probably my favorite character so far, but But the thing is, it's like, if you're gonna make Teraraki a core member of the team, you got these 5 characters with attitude, or lack thereof, if you really think about it. Like, why would you not give this guy a focus episode? Even in Power Rangers SPD, you like, freaking Jack got episode 3, Sky got episode 4, Sid got episode 5, Bridge got episode 6, and Z, Homegirl, got a 2-part episode all to herself. But it was very clear it was a Z-focused episode. It wasn't like, oh, Jack is going to talk to this kid, but then Z's going to have to clean his mess in the next episode. No, it was Z all the way through in both Sam Part 1 and Sam Part 2. Like, why is Teraraki getting shafted here? But yeah, so Gent's like, but what? Like, I know you're controlling the kaiju, but why? It's because humans are the greatest evil. Like, you guys know the Seal of Ori calcos. Like, you've seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Wake the Dragons. You know how this plays out. Humans are destroying the environment. I'm trying to create a reset so that the environment goes back to the way it used to be. Very, very preachy. And equally as annoying as Henri's childhood friend. But at least the childhood friend was at least presumably a priestess at a temple, so like at least I can respect that. But the professor, it's like he's just being a hater. He just wants to cull humanity. That's not cool, man. And even gets us to say that's not cool. Humans are part of nature, so shouldn't like we protect humans in addition to nature? He's like, yeah, it is such a human thing for you to say. I mean, yeah. Of course, it's a human thing for him to say. I mean, if a dog would say the same thing, would you say, like if a dog said, dogs are a part of nature, do you think someone would say, oh, that is such a dog thing to say? Like, I get it. Blazar is supposed to be like Gaia, where it's supposed to focus on an environmental message, and it puts more focus on hard science than magic's, like cosmic magic. But sometimes the preachiness can be kind of annoying, especially since we've seen this happen over and over again, and not just in Captain Planet, but also in other shows. Case in point, Yu-Gi-Oh. I think season 4 of Yu-Gi-Oh was probably the most annoying in that department. I'm pretty sure there was something about that on One Piece. Yeah. I'm just really tired of the whole humans are evil, so they need to be culled sort of thing. Maybe humans should just learn a lesson and not be culled. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, some humans won't be able to learn that lesson, but at least the rest of us can at least try our best, can't we? Can't we? So we go to round 2. Earth Garen handles it just as well as you'd expect it would, but then, believe it or not, transformation sequence. Turns out this kaiju can open the shell on its head, revealing a very turtle-like monster underneath, and it's gathering all of this like energy from like all these buildings it's sucked up into its mouth. So yeah, forces of nature and whatnot. And it basically takes out Earth Garen like you would expect it would. I mean, again, at this point, why is Earth Garen even in the show? Why? But of course, Blazar finally shows up. He tries to throw a plasma spear at it, and it goes about as well as you would think it would, knowing that this is part 1 of a 2-part episode. Yeah, the Aurora Beam, not to be confused with the Aurora Beam from the previous episode, and the plasma spear, they collide, causing a massive explosion. Ultraman loses all of his energy and flies off, leaving Gento to be unconscious. So, what do we do from here? That's a good question. Watch episode 8 and find out. What are you guys' thoughts on this episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What were your guys' thoughts on the episode? What do you think of the monster costume? Let me know. I'll say this. I thought the episode was mid. Now, it was... I liked the idea of the monster. I'm tired of how preached the messages of humans are evil. Oh, yeah, and that's another one. Power Rangers Mega Force did that as well as Power Rangers Wild Force. The only difference is that one's a knight, the other's a god. But the thing is, they're both saying humans are evil. They're trying to pollute the earth and destroy it. I, as the absolutely neutral guardian of the earth, will do stuff, even if it means letting people get hurt for some reason. But yeah, so yeah, I'm just talking about. I like the concept of the 7 bracelets. I love the idea of the kaiju being controlled by a human. I do like the design of this kaiju because like its faceplate sort of just like opens up and then it fires a beam of energy. Like that's the design. But I have to say, the 2 things that really drop the score for this episode for me is firstly Teraraki not getting any focus. I know he's going to show up more in the next episode, but it's like they talk such a big game about him being a fan of the scientist. So like, don't you think that at least Teraraki would show up with Gento to talk to the professor or something? Give him something to work with, because so far he's just a bland background character who does very little. He's at least like Hicks from Power Rangers RPM. Like he's a background character, but at least we see him have a personality. Here, it's like it's just bland. That makes me kind of sad. The other issue is Earth Garen. Earth Garen doesn't do squat. I'm so tired of this. I was hoping Earth Garen would kick a little bit more butt, considering it's a man-made giant robotic reptile made for the purpose of fighting kaiju. I'm just tired with that. 8 out of 10. Hopefully the next episode will be much better. Okay, let's go to the comments. So no one is eligible because the only person who made not only is there only one person who made comments tonight, but also it's a person who opted out of the contest. But Triple X Ray Z, happy to meet you. Happy Halloween, y'all. Happy Halloween to you too. I hope you have a great time tomorrow. Our first ever two-parter for Blazar. Let's go. Yeah, too bad part 1's a little boring. At least to me it is. I hope other people like it. And maybe they could explain to me why they like it more so that I could hopefully change my mind. What do I think about part 2? Obviously, you're going to have to wait until next week to find out. Okay, wish I could have gone to Ranger Stop, but I have no way of getting to Florida. Maybe next year. Yeah, hopefully next year if we get to do this contest again. That depends on Mike from Ranger Stop. By the way, what do you plan on going as for Halloween? Well, I did go as the Crow this weekend, but I'm probably going to go as Snape for like the actual Halloween. Because honestly, like I'm going to a Kiss concert on Friday. I don't want to wear makeup again until then. Like as much like also I think I'm running low on black and white makeup. I probably should restock on that, but it is what it is. The kaiju this episode was cool. Yeah, I agree with you on that much. The kaiju had a really cool design. You've had rattlesnake meat. Yes, I have. It's really tasty. The key is knowing how to behead it, because if you do it wrong, the whole meat is wasted because of the sacks. Okay, 8 out of 10. Well, we agree on that much. Yeah, I wish this episode was better, but sadly it isn't. So, no contest winners today, but I do have a surprise for you guys. I did mention there's going to be a surprise. So what is the surprise? I'm bringing back an old show, and we're going to do an episode tomorrow morning. I haven't decided on the exact time, but it's going to be, yes, Writer Time Archive will be coming back, and we're doing episodes 22 and 23 tomorrow. And if you want to know what time we're going to be doing it, well, only one thing to do. Comment, like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon so you know when we're going to do that episode. And, of course, I will provide another chance for you guys to win those tickets to Ranger Stop because, we want to just, maximize your guys' chances before we run out of tickets. And of course, obviously on Wednesdays, we got Kamen Rider Gotchard. On Thursdays, we got Osama Sentai King Oger. And on Saturdays, we got Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. And for Ultraman, we're going to go back to Tuesdays like we always did. So 7 p.m., 10 p.m. Pacific and Eastern. Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, 7:30, 10:30 Pacific and Eastern on Wednesday and Thursday, respectively. And Power Rangers is going to be on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m., 8:30 Pacific and Eastern. And as for Kamen Rider Amazons, we're going to do them on Sundays. We haven't decided on the time yet, but we're going to do it. We're going to do them on Sundays. But this episode will definitely be on October 31st because we did promise you guys we're going to get back to Amazons in the month of October. We cut it way to the last day, but at least we're getting it done. And be sure to check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we discuss movies, video games, etc. And if you want to find my personal content, you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. With all that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to stay safe, hydrate, update your emergency kits, hug your loved ones. Really, really, really hug your loved ones. And be really safe. And it's Halloween. Make sure your costumes are something that you could handle, you won't like pass out from heat exhaustion from, and hope you get lots of candy, no razors in them, and don't overeat them all at once. But with that said and done, happy Halloween, guys. Bye. Trick or treat.